Hey everybody, Glenn here. This video is for YouTube and for the Ford F-150 group on Facebook. I posted a while back on the group page about an issue I'm having on my radio, which is still ongoing. And alright, so let me run down here. It'd be easier if I do it in a video than to repost. It'd be a lot easier. Alright, so what's going on is I bought a 2020 F-150 Limited, fully loaded. Love the truck. Bought it back in July. Bought it from a great dealership, Wareham Ford, Wareham, Mass. My parents used to buy vehicles there years ago when it used to be called Sutter Ford. And Paul Sutter was the owner. Got it from his father when his father passed away. Kept the dealer going till about the mid-80s, 90s. Now it's Wareham Ford. My salesman that sold me the truck, I've known since the 90s. He worked over at Hyannis Ford in Hyannis, Mass. I was working across the street at 7-Eleven managing the store for them. And he used to come in for gas all the time to fuel up new vehicles. So that's how we met. I've known him for a long time. Great guy. Really knows his stuff. He is the truck salesman over at Wareham Ford. So I bought the truck from him. Paid just under $74,000. I got a $500 rebate for, doing the Ford credit. And that worked out good. So my payments aren't bad. I'm paying $656 a month for the truck, and that's not bad for what was it, 72 months, whatever it is. So I went to Maine right after I got it. We went camping for a whole month. Truck worked beautiful. I had no problems with it. It handled pulling my Rockwood HW 296 pop-up double axle camper, no problems. Didn't even know it was back there. Truck drove all around Maine, beautiful. Took the hills nice. Took it on a nice windy, curvy road, up and down through the hills, and over to Grandma's house we go. We went to a 7-Eleven to go pick up a package coming from Amazon. So we had a nice ride. I didn't know the road, never been on it before. Kind of took my time going, a little uneasy because I didn't know the road. Coming back, no problem. Set the cruise control at 40 miles an hour, and wherever it dropped down, I dropped the cruise down. And it handled like a sports car. It was just beautiful. I loved it. I still love it. So here's my problem. All right. One day I was on my way over to my brother's house, and I'm driving the truck, and I look and I get to the lights, center of town near his house, and I'm like, sweetie, why is that radio rebooting? That's not supposed to reboot when you're driving. She goes, oh yeah, I don't know. She goes, I wouldn't think so. I said, no, it's not supposed to reboot. So when the radio came back, I was on the phone with my brother, and started sounding funny. The voice started sounding all raspy sounding. That's the only way I can describe it. My brother said, hey, what's wrong with this call? I said, I don't know. He says, because you sound funny. I said, yeah, well, so don't you. So I told him, well, I'm going to have to call the Ford garage. Tell him we got a problem going on with the truck. So I did. Talked to my service rep, Brian. Brian said, bring it over. We'll take a look at it. I said, okay. I told him what it's doing. So bring it over. Leave it with him. I said, we'll take a look at it. We'll give you a call. I said, okay. Left it with him. Next day, he called me. Hey, Glenn, truck's all set. I'm like, oh, okay. What was it? Well, we did a software update. And that should take care of it. I said, okay. I believed him. So I go over there, pick it up. Leave the dealership. I'm on the phone with my wife. She's in front of me in our 2017 Ford Escape Titanium driving. And never an issue with that car, or even my Explorer. Never had that problem with it doing what it was doing. It starts acting up. I said, sweetie, guess what? Yeah, I know, I heard it. I go, well, I call back to the dealership. Brian, Glenn. I said, guess what? Truck's doing it again. He goes, really? Okay, well, all right. He goes, swing it back by tomorrow. We'll redo we'll reflash the update and see if that's the problem. I said, okay. It did? Nope. Didn't solve the problem. Drove off again, acted up. But now remind you, you got to remember, this is not a all the time issue. It's intermittent. It's not all the time. It comes and it goes. Sometimes it just starts for a few seconds. It'll stop. The call's clear. It can start back up and it can get really bad. And I can hardly hear what the person's saying. I have to hang up. Like I said, it's intermittent. So they refresh the truck. Drive away. Nope. Acting up again. I call him back like the next day. I said, Brian, truck's still doing it. Really? Okay. So I'll bring it back in next week. Gave me a day to bring it in. I said, okay, I'll bring it in. So he goes, I'll let the mechanic take a look at it further. So the mechanic took the truck, paired his phone to it. Now it's been the one mechanic the whole time. And the mechanic paired his phone to it. And it's a Samsung Galaxy S9. I had a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. So basically the same phone, same operating system, Android 10, whole 9 yards, that's it, right? So couldn't get it to act up. So the truck's fine. They were alluding to the problem being my phone. Well, we think it's coming from your phone. I said, I don't think so. And so I told him, I said, well, I'll try it and see. I'll check it out again. So, take the truck back. Happened again. I said to my wife, hey, grab my phone, quick. I said, take it off of Bluetooth. Put it on speakerphone. I was on the phone with a friend of mine he works on photocopiers for a living. He's a repair tech. Works for a big corporation. We live on Cape Cod. He does all the lower end of Cape Cod from, probably Barnstable, Mass, all the way down to Provincetown is where he does. All day long, he's working on people's copiers. So, I'm talking to Mark, and I told him what was up, and he knew what was going on. And we put it on speakerphone. Call cleared up. Mark says, you're coming in crystal clear. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Put it back on the radio. And at that point in time, it had cleared up. Wasn't no longer doing it. So like I said, it's intermittent. It's not all the time. So, I let Brian know. Brian, put it on speakerphone. Problem went away. Really? I says, yeah. All right, well, I'll tell you what. He goes, I'm going to make an appointment for next week. You bring the truck in, and I'm going to have the mechanic go out into the truck and sit with you and discuss. You can explain to him what's going on instead of me relaying the problem to him. I said, okay, that's fine. So I did. Went over there and sat with the mechanic, told him what it's doing. And he goes, all right, I'll tell you what. He goes, I asked him, just like I asked Brian, is that normal for the radio to do a reboot while you're driving it? And he says, no. So I said, what would cause that? He goes, well, there's only one thing that can cause that. It's your EPM module. I said, okay. I'm going to go ahead and go in there and let them know that to order up an EPM module. We're going to replace the EPM module. It's probably that module. I said, okay, that's fine. So, order it up, put the module in, drop the truck off. They put it in, went and picked it back up. Oh, excuse me. Guess what? I take the truck, drive it around for a bit, a few days, whatever, starts doing it again. Call it Brian. Brian, guess what? Still acting up. Really? Brought it over again. They looked at it. Mechanic put his phone to it. Couldn't get it to act up. The minute I left that parking lot and got going down, I should have turned around and went right back. It started acting up. I got near a junkyard. It's right down the road. It's Robinson's Auto Salvage. They also own a GMC dealership next door. They sell brand new GMCs as well as they have a junkyard. A little further down the road, they've got a body shop. I can tell you some stories about that place being a body shop and a junkyard, but that's another time. So anyways, I get almost home and I call Brian up and I told him what's going on. He goes, can you swing right back by? You nearby? I says, no, I'm almost home. All right. He goes, well, all right, you have to bring it back. We'll have to, I brought it back. I mean, the day he told me to bring it back, still couldn't get it to act up. He goes, Glenn, you're going to have to bring this truck over. I want you to take off, go with the mechanic, and take it for a ride and show him what it's doing. I said, okay. So I have an appointment December 1st to take it back over to the dealership, and I'm going to go with the mechanic, and I'm going to see if I can get it to act up. I'll call my brother on the phone and see if we can get it to do its thing so I can show him. I'm trying to catch a voice recording with a video, with a voice recorder, but the problem is I'm on the phone. I can't do it with my phone. So if we can catch it, well, my wife's always with me when we're in the truck going somewhere. I'm going to get her to catch either a video or a voice recording of it so I can show them, here, this is what it's doing. Because they're still kind of trying to elude that it's the phone. But I got a new phone. I got a Note 20 now instead of a Note 9. I just got that last week, and I called Brian up and I told him about it. And I says, oh, by the way, I got a new phone. Oh, you did? What'd you get? I said, I got a Samsung Note 20 5G. All right, well, the mechanic's got a Note 9. The mechanic's got an S9. I said, yeah, okay. Well, I knew that anyways because he told me that before. All right, well, bring it in and we'll have him go with you in the truck and you can try and get it to act up. I said, okay. So, the phone's not the issue. That's a proven fact already. My Note 9 did it. My wife's phone did it. My new Note 20 5G does it. And right here, this is my new, Note 20 5G from AT&T, doing the very same things, that raspy sound. So, he tells me, and I understand this, because years ago, I owned I installed car stereos for a while. I owned a business running it out of my parents' house. I would install people's car stereos for them, aftermarket radios. Now, I know they're not computerized. They did have a circuit board in them. That was it. Resistors, capacitors, things like that to run the digital display. So I get it, all right? So Brian says to me, well, because I had mentioned to him in the shop one day, I says, do you think it could be the radio? Well, I don't know. He goes, I don't really think so, but he goes, it's possible. And I said, okay. He goes, but here's the thing. He goes, I can't replace the radio. I have to do other things first, like, go with modules first, because the modules, I guess, have all to do with that radio. And that radio has all to do with the whole entire truck. So, I get it, all right? You have to replace the modules first, and you can't do anything more with it. All right. Now, if you guys know anything about stereos like I do, years ago, now my truck's got the Bang & Olufsen B&O sound system with all the speakers in it, and it sounds fantastic. I love it. Years ago, my mother used to work for, my mother passed away 4 years ago. She worked for a company, retired in 2006, and she sold pianos and organs for a living. She had a store one time up in Hanover, Mass, and the Hanover Mall was right across the street. So a lot of times, I'd go up there with her before I got my license, and I would go across the street, or when I did get my license, I'd drive over to the mall. So, over in the mall, there was an electronics store. Remember the day when you used to be able to go into an electronics store where they sold receivers, turntables, cassette decks, and then along came CD players, so they had the CD decks and all that, right? High-end equipment. There was a place in there that carried Bang & Olufsen, Bose, all the high-end, Harman Kardon, all that expensive stuff, right? Now, Bose, throw it out the window. Can't stand Bose. They boast how good this stuff sounds with all the bass that it has. I can't stand it. Never could. Bang & Olufsen, never had a problem with it. Never owned one before, but whenever I went in that electronics store, and they always had a, Bang & Olufsen playing, it sounded fantastic. Now, keep in mind, right? Bang & Olufsen stuff, if you know Bang & Olufsen, their stuff's really expensive. I mean, really expensive. More than Bose. Bose, you could buy a receiver and 2 speakers for, let's say, $1,000, right? really, and it didn't impress me with the sound. Bang & Olufsen, to buy just a receiver would cost you in the neighborhood of $2,000 or more. Then you had to buy speakers to go with it. You're talking into the $4,000 and $5,000 range, right? So I know how expensive Bang & Olufsen is. So I figure the radio in this truck probably goes anywhere from the 3,500 to could be close to 5,000, just because of what it is. It's a Bang & Olufsen. Don't need to say anymore. If you know the product, you know how expensive it is. I looked on Amazon. Amazon had a Bang & Olufsen. Now this was like just a few weeks ago. Amazon had a Bang & Olufsen Bluetooth speaker about the size of the Apple HomePod, right? And they were asking $34.99 for that, and not $34, $3,499.99 for that Bluetooth speaker. I don't even think it had an assistant in it. I think it was just a Bluetooth speaker. So if you know how expensive Bang & Olufsen is, then you know that radio in that truck's expensive. So yeah, I get it. They gotta do everything else first. Now this is what kills me. Brian says to me last week, he goes, well, we got a problem here, he goes, Glenn, because Ford wants to see the truck throw a code to show that there is a problem to go any further. I says, okay. I says, well, it's not going to happen because I know it's not a module. I say it's in the radio. My buddy that's a copier tech agrees with me. My brother even said he thinks it's the radio. I say it's the radio itself, but in order to, that's the last thing they can replace is that radio. And I get it. I totally get it. So it's not going to throw a code. Now you tell me, are there any Ford mechanics seeing this video? Anybody on the group page for the F-150? Are any of you guys a Ford mechanic? Please comment below to let me know if something goes wrong in that radio. Is that radio going to cause the truck to throw a code that the computer will pick up? Because I don't know. I'm not sure. Because basically the radio is the brains of that truck. Your backup camera, front-facing 360, all that stuff runs through that. Everything runs through that, and it runs off it's those modules that supposedly, they connect to that radio somehow. So that's why he's thinking it could be a module that's the problem, and I really don't think so. I think it's the radio. But so if any of you guys are a Ford mechanic, you work for a Ford garage currently, and you're watching this video, please let me know if the fault is in that radio. Would that radio throw a code? That's my question. I know there's a lot of you guys that are DIY mechanics that like to throw in your 2 cents, and that's fine. But I need to really know from somebody reliable if this thing's capable of, if it's the radio that's having an issue, is the radio going to throw a code? Because that's what they keep telling me, it's got to throw a code in order for them to go further, unless they can catch the problem. Like when I take, when I take the mechanic out for a ride, I need to know, the mechanic needs to hear this thing doing it so he can say, yeah, okay, Brian, I heard what he's talking about. Yeah, he's right. It is in the truck. Because what I'll do is I'll have my wife hold the phone, and I'll take it off of speakerphone so that he can hear that on speakerphone the call is clear. So just comment and let me know below. Any of you, if there are any Ford mechanics watching this video, please let me know if that radio would throw a code or not, if it's having a problem. Now, Brian already did confirm with me, yes, and all the service reps over there agree that it's not supposed to throw a code. Even my salesman, which has been working for Ford since the early 90s, even agrees. He's the one that said, oh, they're going to replace your radio? He was the first one to tell me that. And I said, I don't know. We'll see. I says, because I told him that's my thought, is it's the radio. And so even he agrees. So, yeah, just let me know in the comments below. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to keep trudging. I'll update you guys and let you know how this thing, you know, ends up. As far as, you know, what the problem really actually is. Other than that, the truck's fantastic. I got the backup camera issue that they put a recall out on, and I figured I'm not going to take mine in and get it fixed till after the first of the year, because I got to wait for them to get the new cameras in and have plenty in stock, and then I'll take it over and they can replace my backup camera, because you guys have all seen the issue going on with that, where it gets dark, slightly dark, really dark, almost black. You can't see what you're doing when you're backing up. If you had a camera recently replaced, they're going to be replacing it again, because evidently it was a bad batch of cameras. From what I was told from somebody else, that Ford went with a new camera company. My salesman told me this. Ford went with a new camera company in 2020, and that's what the problem is. The problem lies with the new company. So they're going to issue replacements. They'll fix the problem, and that should be the end of it. So if you're having a problem, you need to still go in for the recall, even if you had your camera replaced yesterday. Those new cameras aren't available yet, so you're going to probably still have the same issue. So, yep. Other than that, the truck's great. What have I got? I forget how many, don't even know how many miles are on the truck now. Over 3,000, I think. No, not quite 3,000 yet, because of the pandemic, I'm not driving it a lot, because we don't go anywhere. We stay home. We don't like to be out and around the public. So I've only got like under 3,000. Not even time for an oil change yet. It's probably like between 25 and 2,700 maybe. I don't know. When it's time for an oil change, I'll take it over. They deal with it. Oh, one other thing. How many of you guys have the maintenance plan? Have you ever bought a maintenance plan for your truck? I've got the maintenance plan where it covers for 5 years. They pay for my oil changes. They'll even replace brakes in the 5-year period if it needs brakes. It's worth having it just because of what I get out of it. And, you know, in this pandemic, if you're not making a lot of money and you really can't afford the oil changes, that'll help out because you don't have to pay. So, yeah, let's see what happens with that. My wife's 2017 Ford Escape has a maintenance plan. It's going to run out in 2022. So we've been taking advantage of that, getting the oil changed, and works out great. We don't have to pay out of pocket. So, all right, guys. Hey, thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel if you're watching this video. Comment down below. If you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button down there, up there, wherever it's at. Hit that notification bell. If this is on the F-150 Group Forum page, if you want to really keep track of what's going on, you can hit me up with a friend request. Just let me know you're from the group, and I'll accept your friend request right away. And that's basically it. I'm going to get on out of here, guys. All right. Hey, have a great day. Enjoy driving that F-150 no matter what year it is. I don't care if it's a 65 or a 2021. If you've got one, you're lucky. I love that 2021. I love that, just that, the whole thing about that new truck with the whole power system in the back. All right, guys. See you later.